Eremos is more than a name. It's a way of life. It's our sanctuary, our escape from the noise, and our connection to the deeper meaning of our lives. It's about finding joy in the outdoors, seeking growth, and leaving the world a better place than we found it. Welcome to Elevate and Explore, a podcast where we dive into the beauty of nature, self-discovery, and the endless possibilities that come with living intentionally. Welcome to our journey.
Hey everybody, I am Aaron.
I'm Ryan.
And this is the Elevate and Explore podcast. It's mid-December. We're almost at the end of the year. We're going to do one or two more podcasts before the end of the year, and then hopefully have something special for you guys when we start back up next year. See what we can do a little different, a little better.
Constant improvement. So in the light of constant improvement, this past couple months, we haven't really had a chance to talk about it. There's been so many different changes. We've been working on all kinds of different stuff. We've even had some chances to spend together. I left my full-time job and just decided to resort back to the woods and catch up on some long lost hunting, and I pretty much have been hunting for most of October, November, and now December. Haven't really had any giant deer killed. Haven't really done a whole lot, but I have shot a couple deer, a couple of nice bucks. And I got to spend time with my best friend Aaron. Got to hunt with some family. It's been wonderful.
Now, with you spending all that, because you have spent a lot of freaking time out in the woods, just about every day, It looks like you're out there. What's one of the greatest things you found about yourself or about the world since you've been spending all this time out in the woods after you left a job? You're stepping into something new, something exciting. What's been on your mind? What have you found out in the woods other than nature?
Well, so ironically enough, I come home. You spend about 60 days. It's every bit of 60 days now that I've spent in the woods. I am in a fantastic mood. Like I don't know that I could be happier. I don't know that I've ever been happier.
Yes, you are. You have been very happy.
It's hard not to. I've been able to send some arrows at stuff. Got to pull the trigger a couple times. Hear the gun go off. Had some fantastic food. I guess to the root of your question of what have I really been able to sit and think about, you sit in a tree stand long enough, you're either going to drive yourself crazy or you're going to answer some questions, solve some problems. And I have found more recently, I think we even talked about it on this podcast, people talk about going to the outdoors, going into nature and referring to it as their church. And while I can see where they get that, I am very convicted of being one of the people that goes out into the woods, and that's where I talk to God. That is also where I ask questions. That is also where I relieve some of my stresses of things that I don't have control of. Mm-hmm. I will be 100% honest with you in saying the one thing that I have really picked up on and brought to heart the past 60 days of spending in the woods is I am not in control. I am not in control of anything here. I work hard. I serve people every chance I can. I try and do everything I'm supposed to. Sometimes I forget. But going out into the woods and saying I'm going to go shoot a deer, it's not my control. I'm just going out to the woods because I can and I want to. I go to a job or I start a business, not because I have control of everything, but because I thought I could serve people. I thought I could do something more. I was, just sitting there one day and I had this idea, and to take it and run with it and work hard towards something is truly just a great feeling on its own. But to release control of something that you're not, no matter how hard you do, how hard you work, how much you try and really dig in and grab hold of the reins of something, something is always going to go wrong. Something is always going to pull you off course. Something is always going to come up. And it is kind of this submission, I think, between you and your faith, and then also whatever your goal is that keeps you on track. That's probably a lot, but ultimately, if your goal is such a fire inside of you, something is always going to come up and try and knock that out of you. Something's going to blow that fire out every chance it can. But it is constantly picking yourself up, dusting yourself off, making sure you got good kindling and keep that fire going, and doing the basics and step by step keep stepping towards that goal. In the deer woods, you're going to have deer come up. They're going to come right up next to you. They're going to be 50 yards away, almost broadside. You get them in the scope and they run. You're not in control. In the workplace, everything's going great until it's not. And then you're in trouble. You're not in control. In personal lives, I mean, having kids, everything, you can be so ready to go. And then one of the kids tells you, hey, something happened. Can you come help me? And you got to start over again. I have, in the past 60 days, really just dove into this, that I'm going to do what I can, and I'm not going to stress about anything else. When I say that you are not in control, that is what I mean. To just surrender, do what you can, and be grateful and happy that you've completed it, or you're still working towards it. Tomorrow's another day, and hopefully you get to spend that extra day, keep working on it. So something's going to come up tomorrow too.
Yeah. Yeah. You helped me realize that. Something I started slowly realizing a little bit a while back, but you definitely helped concrete it. That oftentimes I always used to be trying to make things go a certain way. It's got to be this way. It's got to be that way. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. I gotta do it, and almost trying to force things sometimes. And I realized once you step back a little bit and like, all right, I have a plan. I want this to happen. But maybe that's not going to happen. Maybe I have to go around about a little bit. I'll still get there, but maybe it's not going to happen exactly how I thought. But as long as I get to close to the desired outcome, I'll be content. And so I kind of stopped trying to force things and just kind of let things take their path. Still do what I got to do. Still do this. Still do that. But not try and force it, kind of like my hunt. I always used to be out there with the 300 Win Mag and, see a deer far away and just start trying to shoot through the brush to get it instead of, like this year, I had patience and I let it come to me. I let go of control and just let nature take place and let it come to me. So I'm kind of trying to do that with life as well. Stop trying to shoot, 1,000 yards away and let things come closer to me. Or I start, or not before I start forcing things, but just don't force things at all. Just go with the flow.
We've seen it on a job site 150 times. Is everybody wants to try and control something, and then something goes wrong. Somebody jumps in trying to make it better, and then all hell breaks loose. It's 10 times worse. Everybody's, dirty and panic and just cursing and swearing. You still have a problem on your hands. And we're not getting home any faster. And oftentimes it is that just step away. And sometimes there's a necessity. Sometimes you have to jump in and take control. This is the exception there. The day-to-day trying to live life, you're not in control of everything all day long. And to sit back and do the basics, work towards your goal, live intentionally. If you say you're trying to do something, then do it. Don't try and, do 6 other things and expect the other thing to come to fruition just because you thought you were working on it. That became very long-winded, but, sitting isolated in a tree stand and really getting time to think really makes you have a new appreciation for being able to do that. And then you really get to see about all the things that you have done, could have done, might have done, and you realize you just let them happen. It's going to be that way for the rest of your life. So,
Cool. Yeah, that's excellent. Thankfully, you used all that time out in the woods for good and not just wasting it away, just mindlessly. So glad you found something out there. That's fantastic.
yeah. Out of that, I'd say there's two other points, and I think we should talk about them. Now, earlier, before we started the podcast, I was on a train of thought. One of them is the perception of who you are, where you're going, and are you attracting the right things? And then the second topic on my mind is hunters and killers, the philosophy of what type of person
Hmm.
are you?
Okay.
So this may be one of our first scripted podcasts, but we'll just see where it goes from here.
So the first one was you are who you want to attract. Is that what? Yeah, I fully believe that. Bringing.
Well, not you are who you want to attract, but are you who you want to attract? It's a parable question. It goes both ways,
Okay.
right?
Yes. Sometimes I've recently I've been finding that probably 75% I am who I want to attract, and there's probably about 25% that pops up a little too often. I need to chisel that down, but just being realistic that I found lately. I've been slacking a little bit, if I'm being perfectly honest with myself, but that's okay. I realize it. I've found that, and I'm working towards elevating that again. I kind of go in cycles where I have some really good months, and then I'll have a month or two that drops off a little bit. I'm aware of it and constantly trying to improve it. But yeah, so right now, 25% of me is spending too much time on social media. So that's not attracting the people I want, things like that. So there is part of me that is not who I want to attract. So I believe if I was giving that, 90%, 95%, I don't think you can ever always be running on 100%, maybe for a short period of time. But yeah, I'd like to get back up to that 90, 95% operating system to
Well,
be who I want to attract.
I think it goes and it comes and goes, especially trying to be a dynamic person, a person who's always consistently trying to change and grow. And we look at, say, trajectory, especially when it comes down to ballistics and just the equation, you're always going to go up before you fall.
Mm-hmm.
And as people, we often think that when we go up, we're just going to stay up forever. Um, at some point, you will start to drop, and whether that be appearance, physically, the way you dress, the way you look, whether it be mentally, that you're just not as sharp, maybe you're being forgetful, in just career and profession. You don't care about your job as much. You're not driven. You are not really honed in and focused like you once were. You're not putting out and performing as well as you once did. So all of these things are things that we just have to be cognizant of and keep in mind as we are constantly evolving, which ones matter the most to you. And the reason I asked this question is because I'm driving down the road. I think the day I was driving up to you, I had a pair of uh, grungy pants on and a hoodie, and I might either had Crocs or my deck boots. And you hop out at a gas station and you pull up next to somebody who's really well dressed and nice clean
Mm-hmm.
vehicle, and you sense some tension. It's like, I am a businessman. He's a businessman. Why do we look different? He's maybe an outdoorsman. Maybe he's an outdoorsman. Why do we look different? And it starts, going down this mental game of comparing, wondering if you're actually being honest with yourself. And I don't think there's really a major takeaway here. I don't think there's truth in the answer, but I think it's normal to compare yourself and try and gauge yourself on who you are and where you're going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've comparison has always been a challenge for me, and I've realized it was a big challenge, and I've really tried to stop doing it so much. I love this saying, comparison is the thief of joy, and it's very true. When you're constantly comparing yourself to other people, thinking everybody else has this or that, and well, I'm not there yet, I don't have it, but got to stop realizing, looking where you are at. You probably have a lot more than you give yourself credit for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think, as for the appearance thing, I mean, as long as you're not walking around looking like a bum, I mean, I think that's everybody has their own style. Unfortunately, people do definitely judge on appearance wise. Don't really know that that'll ever change. That just is what it is. But I've found a happy medium where I'm comfortable. I'm not wearing a suit or a button down every day, but feel comfortable. I feel like I look good, professional. But I can be in a casual, or I could be somewhat formal with what I wear on a daily basis anymore. So I don't know.
I just spent 60 days in a tree stand. You're lucky I'm wearing pants.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop comparing. Look around, see what you have, and if you aren't where you want to be, well, that's the first part is the realization to be able to change what you don't like.
That's another side of that is comparison may be the thief of joy, but comparison may also bring you close to where you want to be. And there's a lot of
Yes.
ebb and flow here, but if you feel like you're not as professional as you need to be, or maybe you feel like you're just not attracting that partner you're looking for, maybe go get a haircut or shower, put on some deodorant, change your clothes, do something, try something new. It is always refreshing. Believe it or not, I do like to get a haircut every couple months. From time to time.
All right. Now, what was your second one? Was killers or got hunters or killers?
The hunters and killers. Now, I've heard this somewhere. I've heard it on some of these business seminars I've been in, where a hunter's always out seeking an opportunity. He's always looking for an opportunity. And meanwhile, the killer is just going to go out and he's going to take, the hunter is looking for the perfect opportunity. The killer is going out and taking every opportunity. And I've heard this in some sales coaching and some of these, just networking events where they talk about it in this light. And when we were at deer camp, it got me thinking. It's like, okay, just at the basics, we're at deer camp. Are you a hunter or are you a killer?
Mm-hmm.
I think the consensus was everybody said they preferred to be a hunter, mainly because it sounded better. Is if you're a killer, you're just out, wreaking havoc. But if you're a hunter, you enjoy the art of it, and you just like the serenity of nature. You like providing for your family, and it's just a really good question. I feel like because it has so many different ways of interpretation, and it's just a cool talking point. I think you had said I was more of a hunter. If you ask me, it's like I'm way more of a killer. I like to just go out, set it in my mind. This is what I'm going to do, and make it happen every single time.
Uh-huh.
I haven't done it that way, but that's what I like to do. I like to
Yeah.
get that close and intimate quarters of trying to find an animal and knowing its track, knowing its sign, and then finding a bunch of them.
Well, I like the idea because when we talked about it at deer camp, it was just in the context of actual hunting. But the way you started it is, kind of in life. That's an interesting take about thinking about it in the life aspect too of, not just hunting, but in everyday life or business. Are you a hunter? Are you a killer? That's a good thought-provoking question. I didn't think of it that way. So when
Same
normal,
token is as a killer, I like to go out and hunt deer and find as many deer as I can. I also like to make sure I take advantage of every opportunity. If somebody calls me with a business idea, it's always my first game plan of how do we figure this out now? Or
uh-huh,
I think we should pass on this one.
yeah. So in life, so in the hunting aspect, you see yourself as a killer, but in life aspect, you see yourself as a hunter.
No, I think both sides I would say killer because I just like to go for it
Okay.
100% all the time.
Hmm.
But I think there's interpretation to it. And I think there's multiple different ways to look at it. And I think that be a thought provoking question, it's just something to think about. Controversy. What's your take? I want to hear from you.
For my life, I feel like I like opportunities. Right now, I have so many different opportunities in my life. Um, it's tough for me to be laser dialed focused on one single thing. That might be one of my challenges, but I like opportunity. So I think I'd be more of the hunter side of it. Just out there looking for every different opportunity. I'm not dead set on killing one single thing. Am I looking at it right? I guess there's not really a right way or wrong way.
There's not right or wrong, but it makes you think.
Yeah, I love having different options. I've always liked having options in my life, and right now I have more options than I even know what to do with, and it's almost overwhelming. But it's a very good feeling because I feel like if maybe I'm getting a little off topic here, but if one thing doesn't work out, I have something else I can go work towards. If that thing falls out, I have another thing I can go work towards. So I have so many different opportunities myself, and then through connections, things with you, things with other people that I could potentially go pursue. So the opportunities for me right now are just absolutely endless. So many people are always like, I'm at a dead end. There's nowhere else I can go. It's tough for me to imagine just because maybe I just see opportunity everywhere I go, kind of like you. You do too. You've always been great with, "Huh, I got this idea. I'll get back to you." And you come up with this wild plan for something. And yeah, I think that's a big thing we have in common is we're very opportunistic people. We see opportunities in things, whereas a lot of people they see a dead end. They're pessimists.
So, in the scale of life, do you enjoy the opportunity more, or do you enjoy bringing the opportunity home? That's where the hunter and killer
Hmm.
difference is do you like having the opportunities? It's like, do you like going out and looking at deer? Do you like bringing one deer home in the back of the truck? Because I like watching the deer, but I'm going to watch them long enough to get one in the truck.
I sure do like bringing them back home with me. I sure do like having opportunities come to fruition and be fruitful.
That's where I think that hunters and killers thing is, again, interpretation, but um, I made a post, or I don't remember where. I think it was an Instagram post I made the other day where I talked about, this point in my life. I've never been here. It's very different, and I have a hard time seeing it. And I made the comment of I'm at a point in my life where I am very enthusiastic about committing to one woman.
Hmm.
And again, then I said that, and then that afternoon I went and I spent in the tree stand, and then I was like, I thought about this too long. How does this relate to committing to one deer? Because I've cornered myself into only wanting to shoot one deer down here, and while I got my bonus buck on the public land, I still have two more buck tags. I really have a hard time bringing home anything less than the deer that I'm committed to. So in the hunter aspect, the hunter in me would see any deer and just bring it home and just be grateful. The killer of me, though, really wants to just bring home that one deer because it's the challenge. It's the pursuit of finding a deer that is nocturnal, doesn't come out in the daylight. I have to figure out where he's going, what he's doing, when he, all the times and things. And I've got like this timestamp memory log knowing that I only have like a 10-minute window to shoot this deer when the time comes. It's going to be in one of two stands, and it's going to happen so quick. I got to really have my A game, and I got to make sure the wind's good, and I got to make sure all the boxes are checked. The hunter in me would just be like, I am more, and this the Pennsylvania deer. I did not expect to shoot a buck in Pennsylvania. I just wanted to have fun. I wanted to hang out with you guys. I wanted to have good camp food. I wanted to just enjoy nature. And then somehow the buck just walked out in front of me. I don't even know that I made the decision to sit in that stand. I was just kind of told to go sit somewhere. And then I shot a buck. And I was very enthusiastic about that. It's hard for me to determine between the enthusiasm of just the whole experience or the enthusiasm and the challenge of just pursuit of one animal. And again, that's that hunter / killer conundrum.
See, maybe I might even have them flip-flopped in my mind, because when I think killer, I think just going after everything. When I think hunter, I think more ethical, more dialed in. Maybe we are seeing it from a different perspective.
That's why I like to talk about it, because maybe I'm confused too.
Yeah, because when I think killer, I just think somebody who just goes out there and kill absolutely anything that moves. Kind of how I used to be for a long time. Anything that moved, I wanted to take it.
Okay, well, in a business atmosphere and in a room of sales, are you going to kill all your sales goals, or are you going to just pick and choose, the one or two high ticket ones? Are you going to kill them all, or are you only going to bring home one or two? That's where that hunter / killer thing, my interpretation of it is the hunter is very methodical. He's very, very, how you say, I don't want to say dialed in, but he just very meditated, calculated, methodical, and the killer is just like just gloves off. I'm going to do whatever it takes. Let's get this through the door. Dollar signs, get in the back of the truck, whatever. I think
get it done.
It's that get it done mentality, or the I'm going to get it done, but I'm going to get it done my way /
In business, I like to get the high ticket items, and I like to get it done. I like to pursue, get it, accomplish it, bill it, done. So maybe in business, I'm the killer. Or am I good? I don't know. I'm going to be thinking about this all tonight.
Well, good. It's been on my mind for like 3 weeks now.
Well, if you're watching this now, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, hear your guys' perspectives.
Yes, help us solve this. And tell us which one you are and why.
Yes.
Both in the outdoors and in business.
Well, since we're close to the end of the year, Ryan and I were talking, we want to do something we want to do a little Christmas giveaway. We want to do a little Aramos outdoor gear giveaway. We're going to be giving away some of our, I keep calling them sun shirts. I call them performance shirts. They're just absolutely, I wear them in every temperature. They are freaking fantastic. They're not just for sun. They're not just for fishing. I think I'm just gonna start calling them performance shirts because that's what they are. I wear them as a base layer when it's cold. Last week I hiked up. I did a 5 mile hike on the Appalachian Trail, and to get up to the top, the first mile is probably every bit of a good 1,000-foot elevation gain. So it's just up the whole way. And I started out with a couple layers, and I shed down, and by the time I got to the back, my freaking back, even though it was only 25 degrees, my back was sweating from wearing my backpack, and took off the backpack for a little bit and let my back dry out, and the shirt was dry, in 5-10 minutes. Whereas if it was cotton, it would have been freaking soaked the whole time. So I love them. They're great.
They are a polyester blend, and I think that's what they are. But they are SPF rated, so they are great out in the sun. So to your credit, but they are also a tremendous base layer because they are moisture wicking, and they're like an athletic shirt. And I pretty much got one on just the same about every day, and I have that one shirt that is my signature deer hunting shirt because every deer I've shot has been wearing that shirt. So it's proven.
It's not lucky. It's proven.
That's right. It's not lucky. It's proven.
That'll have to be one of our new taglines.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a giveaway December 24th, Christmas Eve. So no, you won't have it in time for Christmas, but still be in the spirit of Christmas, the spirit of giving. So,
well, December 23rd should be the Tuesday, so we'll probably record that. Double check that. Double click on the calendar.
Yeah, it's December 23rd is Tuesday.
It would be the 23rd. So we will do a live podcast session. I think would be the most wise. And anybody who's watching, we will just select a random viewer and send you some shirts.
There we go. I like it. It's a good idea doing lives. People love lives nowadays. You ever go on TikTok and just scroll through the amount of lives that people are doing?
I can't stand them.
But people watch them. If you look at some of the viewers on some of them, people will just mindlessly watch these lives. I've seen people like Gary Vee, they're doing them now. I think it might be something worthwhile trying. Again, people in the comments, if you're watching, would you like to watch live? We could almost do a live, maybe every couple episodes, do a live and record it as well and then post it, but do a live also.
Well, let's see how next week goes, and we'll determine then.
Yeah. Yeah. Changing the whole thing. Yeah. Watching trends. That's another thing I've been doing with different things I'm doing is trying to watch trends, try and see what people are actually interested in. It's so easy nowadays with social media, the internet, to see what people are attracted to, what's captivating people's attention. It's interesting. And apparently those lives are big right now. And so I've been thinking about doing that for my own personal brand. Try and do a live here or there, see what comes of that.
I'll just stick to the Elevate and Explore lives because just don't find an occasion where people need to be watching what I'm doing.
You could just stream a live of you sitting there at the computer all day building Terabid.
Yeah, with Maggie.
Yeah.
Maggie, do you want to say hello to the camera? You want to eat the camera?
Training with Maggie. Well, I think that's a good little segment for tonight. Good place to cut it off. And we'll catch you guys next week. It'll be the last episode of the year. I can't believe that it's been a full year that we've been doing this. We've missed a few weeks here or there, but we have not stopped. We always come back and we're going to keep doing it. Season 2 will be coming up in 2026. We're gonna try and make a couple little changes. So stick around and see us evolve. So whoever's been watching all of our episodes, staying with us, growing with us, we really appreciate you guys.
We should do a quiz to determine the winner for the shirts. We'll do some Elevate and Explore highlights for 2025. And then that way we can do a wrapped video of all of our favorite moments.
That's a good idea.
I mean, it would be, but my camera quality was so poor for most of 2025, you wouldn't be able to see me. It'd just be you talking. So
Coming 2026, you're gonna get a nice little mic for yourself too. That's next.
well, one step at a time.
All right, everybody.
Camera light is fantastic.
Oh, so much better. So much better. World of difference.
Wonderful. All right. Well, everyone, enjoy. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll catch you on the next one.